Hey guys, we've made it to our last 2 weeks here, and we are starting something a little bit different now. It's not going to be so content heavy. It's going to be more planning for your future. And so as I go through this, I will let you know there are really two things that students have really enjoyed over the past few years of me teaching here. One of them is the mock trial, which unfortunately we didn't get to do. The other is the When I'm 30 project. And so that's what we're going to start today. And I'm going to kind of open it up and let you guys kind of work on it at your own pace. So you can get it all done in one day, or you can spread it out over the next week here or so and get it done as you go. But I'm going to give you that opportunity to choose. But let me just kind of get into it and kind of show you guys what we'll be working with. And so here is obviously my Schoology page. We go to e-learning as always. And then we go down to day, we're just going to start out on day 18. This will be open for you. So I'll show you what that looks like. We'll open it up. And in there, you're going to see this overview, what is a budget, because we're going to be setting a budget. And so some of you might know what that is. Others of you do not. That's the first thing you're going to watch for day 18, which would be May 26th. After you've done that, I'm going to post this video for you so you can see, get the instructions and whatnot. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click into the 522 through 62 assignment When I'm 30 budget builder. And so you'll open that up. And something that I do want to let you know that it says right here, it says use a spreadsheet and the internet to complete your budget. I will post an instructional video for each day's assignment. Work at your own pace. But here's a big thing. Notice this is worth a substantial portion of your grade. And so take time with this. Don't just rush through this. I need you to watch these videos because there are some very specific things I need you to do. And on top of that, this is kind of like your project for the semester. So it's going to be worth a lot of points. Okay, and so that being said, my screen looks different than yours because this is my Schoology page. But what's going to happen is you'll see right up here, as always, you'll see my document. You're going to click on that. Okay, when you do, you're going to get this. And I'm going to stress this one more time for you. Do not do things without watching this first, because there are some formulas built into this. There are some things that if you click on and start writing over them, you are going to screw this up. And it's going to be a lot more of a hassle to fix it, especially with distance learning now. Okay, but this is what we're going to be looking at. And like I said, it's going to be kind of fun. It's going to be kind of focusing in on your life in 30 years or in 15 years from now. So when you're old like me, when you're 30 years old, what is your life? What do you want it to look like? So what do you want it to look like? So what do you want it to look like? All right. That being said, let me just start looking over this with you so we can get going on it. Okay, so the first part of this says, when I'm 30, it's important to have a rough outline for your life. While there's no way you can know for certain where you will be at 30 years old, it is crucial to start thinking about what your life will realistically be like 15 years from now. Okay, so the first section up here is thinking about the career that you want in the future. In 15 years, when you're double your age right now, what do you want your career to look like? Okay, you're going to rank them from 1 to 5. 1 is the most important to you. 5 is the least important to you. And so when you think about what kind of job you want to have, what is the most important of these things for you? Salary, how much you make. Prestige, the title, how people perceive you, what you look like. I'll give you maybe if you're a doctor, you might have a lot of prestige. If you're a trash collector, you have very little prestige because people don't look up to that so much. Now, is being a trash collector a really good job? Heck yes, it is. But it doesn't have the title that people are all thinks really fancy and want to be like. Okay. The third one is family time. So how much time you have with your family. If you are I don't know, a very high profile lawyer, you probably don't have a lot of time for your family. Okay. If you are a teacher, that's really good for time with your family because you have all the holidays off, you have summers off, you have weekends off with your kids. Now, granted, I have to grade and plan and stuff like that during some of those times, but that's a pretty good job for family time. Enjoyment of job. How much do you like your job? And finally, location. Do you want to be a specific place? Or do you want to have flexibility where you never know where you're going to be? If you're in the military, obviously you aren't going to know where you're going to be. Um, all right. And so let me just walk through this with you how I would fill this out. Okay. I'm about 30 years old, so I can fill it up pretty accurately. Okay. Number one for me is going to be family time. I really want to have time with my family. I love my family, and I really want to spend time with them. Number two is, of course, going to be enjoyment of the job because I love what I do. I love spending time with you guys all the time. Of course, not recently, but I love doing what I do. All right, my third one is location. What? Why is that third? For me, I want my kids to be around my family, my parents, my siblings, my wife's parents, my wife's siblings, their aunts, uncles, things like that. And so location is important for that matter. So we can be around our families and things like that. Plus, I like Hastings. I think it's a great city. Fourth importance to me is going to be salary, because I need to make money, obviously. And then fifth is prestige. I really, because I at this point in my life, my title doesn't make a whole lot of difference to me. Now, here's what I'm going to say to you guys: be honest. Be honest, be honest, be honest. If prestige, if you want to be that person who has the title and the job and whatnot, put that as your first one. If that's what's most important to you, great. If you're somebody who wants to just make bank, great. If you're somebody who, whoops, if you're somebody who wants to find a job that is something that you always enjoy going to, they say you never work a day of your life if you like what you do, right? Enjoyment of job. If being in a location is specific to you, if that's the most important, do it. All right. Nobody else is going to see this but me, and I'm not judging you on this. So be honest with this. Okay, this is you thinking about your future. All right. So I'll throw mine back in here just so we have them again. Okay. Um, oops. All right. Second thing. This one is going to make some of you squirm a little bit. This is going to make some of you really excited. But family planning. When you're 30 years old, what do you plan your family and your marital status will be? Okay, so let's start with marital status. Some of you plan on being single? I know that. Great, awesome. Some of you want to have a husband or a wife. Great. Some of you want to be divorced. What? Yes, we put that on there because that's legitimately an option for people. It all stems back to choices we make right now. Nobody says when they're 15 years old really that I want to be divorced. People who are married say they want a divorce. And sometimes bad marriages are going to lead to that. And so put where you want to be, and how you're going to put what you want to be is put next there. If you, when you're 15 years old right now, when you look at this, if you say, I don't want to get married, I want to live by myself, I want to do what I want to do, great, awesome, put next there. If you want to be married, put next there. I want that husband, I want that wife. Divorced, okay, same difference. Great. And so for me, obviously, I've always wanted to be married, and I am married. Great. So then children. Next is, how many children do you want to have? Okay. And I'm limiting you to 4. Okay, I'm just limiting you to 4. I know some of you want the big family. I'm sure of it. I know a lot of you want 0 children. If you want 0 children, leave it as is. I want 0. If you want to have 1 child by the time you're 30 years old, so this is when you're 30, not, well, in my lifetime, I want to have 6 kids. No, I'm not saying when you're 30 years old, how many kids do you want to have? Okay. And so when I was 30 years old, I wanted to have 2 kids. And so I would go down to this 2 category, but what I want you to do here is I want you to put their ages. Okay. And so I was going to put what my actual kids' ages were when I was 30 years old. All right. So 2 and I guess I'm going to say 0 because Ireland just turned 1 on Saturday. And so she was 0. And so put down what ages you want your kids to be. If you want to just have one kid, and if you wanted your first kid when you're 25, you'd put a 5, because when you're 30 years old, they would be 5 years old. If you want to have a kid when you're 21, 23, and 25, you'd put 9, 7, 5, right? Okay, so what ages they will be when you are 30. Okay, if you want to have all triplets when you're 29, you just do 1, 1, 1. Okay, I'm just kidding. That's usually not a choice, right? All right, and so like I said, for me, I'm going to do 2, 0, and next year when I do this, because my wife is pregnant, I can put down a third one on there. Holy cow, we'll put down 3. She's due September 3rd, so that's pretty exciting. All right, great. And so now here's the deal. This stuff right here, the stuff that we just put in, it's locked in place. There's no more going back and changing it. There's no more switching, okay? Because once you have a kid, you can't put the kid back, okay? So we're leaving all of this stuff as it is. So take some time and really make it meaningful for you. Okay, the next is career training. So upon completion of high school, you will need to decide what to do. Enter the workforce with the skills you have acquired in high school, pursue vocational training at a technical school, pursue a college degree, or enter the military. Okay, so each of these options have costs and benefits. So fill out the chart below regarding your plan for post-high school or career training. Okay, and so now we get to decide, okay, where do I want to go when I get out of high school? What do I want to do? Maybe I just want to get right into a career path. Maybe I've already know what I'm doing. I've already got my job lined up. Okay, that's pretty impressive if you already know your job and you don't have to do any training for it. But some of you will be there. If that's the case, if you're just going to enter this workforce, you're not going to go to any schooling, you don't need any schooling, put an X right there. You're just going to work. Some of you are going to go right into the military, okay? And that's wonderful too. And so that might mean that you're in the military for a time, then you go to school later. That might mean you make a career out of the military. Maybe you're like, I don't know, but I know that I want to go into the military, okay? Just put military. And if you want to go to school after that, great. Guess what? It's paid for, all right? And so if you're going to the military, do that. If you're somebody who wants to be say a mechanic or a plumber or a lineman, something like that, you might go to a 2-year technical college, a DCTC, Dunwoody, something like that. Okay, you put an X there, and that's an awesome career path as well. And then I know people are going to be going to college to get your college degree. Okay, so your 4-year degree, the general degree for college is called your bachelor's degree. Okay. If you're going to get your bachelor's degree, if you want to say be a teacher, you can have 2 options. You can go to a public school or you can go to private school. The difference between these are, well, there's a lot of differences, but the big difference is public schools are partially funded by the state. Private schools are funded by you. Okay, public schools are easier to get into and typically bigger. Private schools are smaller, a little more prestigious, and a little harder to get into. So they sometimes are better schools. Okay, and so if you want to go to public school, that'd be like the University of Minnesota. That's where I went. Private school might be something like Bethel University. Okay, and so for me, I went to public school. Get my bachelor's degree, my 4-year college degree. If I'm going to get a college degree, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Some of you, however, are going to need more than that. If, for instance, say you wanted to be a psychologist, you need to get a master's degree for that. But in order to get a master's degree, you have to get your bachelor's degree first. And so if you're going into a career that needs a master's degree, you need to get both of these things. And on top of that, so if you want to be a psychologist, you need a master's degree. If you want to be a psychiatrist and actually work with people, you need to have a doctoral degree, a PhD of sorts. And so you need to get, before that, though, a bachelor's and a master's, and then get your doctoral degree. And that's at a public school or a private school. Okay. If you don't know what what's required for your field, Google it. Say, what degree is required to be a veterinarian or something. I don't know. Okay. I went to public. I got my bachelor's. I also got my master's degree. Okay. So I'll leave those ones filled in. But you fill in what you want to do, whether it's workforce, military, 2-year technical college, or bachelor's, master's, or doctoral at a public or private school. Okay. Then here's where I need you to really pay attention. Do not touch these. 0. Do not touch these at all. Because if you look, these have the formulas in them. Okay. So do not touch them at all. Don't even put your mouse over them. Okay. Put your mouse over here and touch in these boxes. Okay. And so what you're going to do is if you said you were going to go into the workforce, you're done. You don't have to put anything. If you said you're going to the military, you're done, because there is no cost for that, for schooling. Okay, but if you want to go to a 2-year technical college, this is where you need to start looking things up, okay? And so what that looks like is literally, if say you want to go to DCTC, I literally, you see I just went, new tab, Google, Dakota County, my caps lock on, sorry, technical, college tuition. I just search that up, and guess what? Here's my tuition for the year, $5,713. So I put in here $5,713. Don't touch anything over here, because watch. Boom, it pulls it up for you. This gives you your monthly payment for 10 years. Okay? Great. Next is I have, if you wanted to go to a bachelor's instead of, or get a bachelor's instead of a 2-year degree, I would look up maybe, let's take a look at the University of Minnesota. University of Minnesota. Sorry, I screwed up my typing. I'm trying to do this one-handed. And you pull it up. $14,760 for in-state tuition. And here's what I'm going to ask you to be honest again. If you think you're going to live in Minnesota, you can use this number. If you think you're going to live outside of Minnesota, this is the number you get to use, $30,438. Okay, so be honest, where do you want to live? So $14,760, that's what I'm going to put in there, because that's what I did, okay? And so I was in state, $14,760. Again, do not touch over here. Watch. Boom, now it fills in. So let's see, I got my bachelor's done now. You can see my total student debt. That's after 4 years, because that's how long a 4-year degree takes most people. Okay, you can see what my monthly payments will be then for 10 years, because that's typically about the amount of time that you pay it back. And so there's my 4-year degree. Now, of course, I went and I got my master's as well. You know where I got it? University of Minnesota. And so what I can do is I can just fill in the master's again, $14,760, and it'll fill it in for another 2 years for me. Don't touch over here. And look, now it fills it in for me. Gives my total monthly payment. If I ended up getting a doctoral degree there as well, $14,760, and it would just keep filling it in. If you went to a private school, put it down here. Okay. If you again want to go to 2-year technical school, put there instead. But once you found your school, your total cost, put it in there. Now I will show you. If you want to go to a private one, like I said, Bethel maybe, you'll notice it's significantly more. It's $37,300. Now, here's what I will say is that sticker price, they always have scholarships and money that they give you back. So it's not always going to be there, but we're going to use that for our benefits right now. Okay? And so that's what I want you to get done for today. It's up through student debt, okay? Once you're done with that, you're done for the day. Go out, enjoy the weather, or I guess whatever the weather looks like today. It could be rainy, who knows. But if you have questions, please let me know. But I think this should get you to where you need to be. All right, guys, have a great day.